Hey everyone, if you just finished your HSC, I hope that the HSC went quite well and you're enjoying your break at the moment or having a bit of a break at the moment. If you're just starting HSC, I hope that the first couple of weeks haven't been too stressful and you're enjoying your HSC experience overall. What I want to do in this video is I actually want to give you a bit of a taste of what uni is like, and that's going to be useful for both for people who have just finished HSC and for the people who have gone into HSC, because you can just see what university is like, if it's difficult or enjoyable, or what kind of, or if you want to maybe see what kind of interests you have. You can check all those interests at this website, and it's called Courseair.org. I want to go over this website, Courseair.org, because it's something quite new and it's really good. It's amazing in terms of the concept that it delivers. So what this actual website is, I'll go over basically what I'll do in a second. I'll go over some of these questions to try to answer what Courseair is all about. But Courseair is basically a website that covers university courses from all around the world, and it does so for free. So the lecturers or university professors from all around the world basically upload a course onto Coursera, and you can take that course. It doesn't cost you anything, and you gain valuable experience and information. And it's just amazing. For me, I love that idea of Coursera, especially because it's all for free as well. And it's really well made. It's really professional. So before I go over Coursera and what it does, I quickly want to go over the main idea of what university degrees. So when you do a university degree, so for example, if you do Bachelor of Science, what is it? And you basically need to know that to be able to understand what Coursera offers. So if you do, for example, a Bachelor of Science, that's usually a 3-year degree, so you do it over 3 years. And that degree is basically split into smaller parts, which are called units. So over more or less usually 3 years, if you do full time, you'll have to done 24 units. So you have to do 24 units over 3 years to get your Bachelor of Science if you do it full time. So for example, one of the units might be called Introduction to Biology. Another unit might be called Introduction to Chemistry or Biochemistry, etc., etc. But the idea is by the end of those 3 years, you've done 24 units, then you graduate and you get your diploma or a Bachelor of Science, right? So that's what a university degree is like. What Coursera does is it doesn't offer these university degrees. It doesn't offer full 24 units. But what you actually get to do there is you get to do the individual units. So each of these units is 1 semester long, which usually means about 3 months long. And they have uploaded their their actual course for you to do. But it's actually made especially for online. So it's not that they've just taped their lecture hall, but they've made it in a way that it's really good for the online consumption, right? So it's usually done quite interactively and quite well as well. So what you're doing here when it comes to Coursera is doing these individual units. So for example, Introduction to Biology, etc., etc. And that's important to know because obviously I'll go over how these courses are structured. So these units are structured in Coursera.org and what the benefits are. So first, let me go over the first question. What kind of courses are there? So if you go on the website, and then I would definitely encourage you to check it out, Courseair.org, you can see that they have these categories. So category-wise, there's so many categories. You can do education, law, humanities, biology and life sciences. You can do physics and chemistry. Basically, whatever you could do at university, you can do here as well, because it's basically just university. So there's no difference between it. So for example, if I go on the categories of biology and life science, you can see there's 24 courses. Overall, there's about 200 courses for the whole Coursera, and it's increasing exponentially. So there's more and more courses becoming available. Even University of Melbourne has now uploaded quite a few courses as well. You can see there's many different types of universities. So for example, Stanford has a course. Lots of different types of universities are joining in as well. So it's really cool overall. When it comes to how these courses are structured, you can see, so in terms of the courses that are available, you can see there are huge amounts of different courses available. And you should know that they have a starting period and they have a length that they're long. So for example, so what I'm covering now is when do these courses start. So for example, this course, Model Thinking, it starts September 3rd, so it has already started, and it's 10 weeks long. So it's start date and end date, and you do something on a weekly basis. Every week you do something. And that ties into the next question, which was, and this is the most important one, how are the courses structured? What are you expected to do these courses? And I'll go through some of the ones that I've been doing, because I find them really interesting, so I do lots of them myself. So I'm not just saying, just use this for your own stuff. I mean, even I use them. I mean, everyone should be using them, because they're really awesome to do. So, for example, to present this one, this is Introduction to Genetics and Evolution. So it started on the 10th of October and finishes on the 4th of January. So you can go to class, which I've signed up, so I just go to class. And how it's structured is what you have is you do lectures every week. So there's online lectures, they record themselves while it's going through a lecture. And there's small, so each of these is one video, but you can see length. They're 8 minutes, 13 minutes. They're usually about between 8 and 15 minutes long. So they don't have like 60 minutes or 90 minute lectures. They have the small lectures, just like the Let's Learn Science videos, in smaller segments, not one big segment, which is good because it's easier to get in chunks as opposed to one big thing. Alright, so yeah, week 1 you watch these lectures, week 2 you watch these lectures, etc., etc. So you got lectures to watch. You also often have readings. So in this case, they're supplementary, which means you don't have to do them. Some courses say you should be doing the readings, but you basically have a bit of reading to do and online lectures to go through. And then you have your exams. Next question, and this would be related to these exams, is what kind of assignments do I have to do? Now, when it comes to the assignments, you basically have these small quizzes that you do on a week-to-week basis. So, for example, week 1 you do this quiz, week 2 you do that quiz. So you should do assignments. You can do quizzes and assignments, but you don't have to do it. So yes and no, you do have to do assignments, but you don't really have to do it. And what I mean by this is, if you want to get a certificate, which I'll talk about in the end in a second, if you want to get a certificate, you have to do all the assignments. You have to complete all the assignments to get a certificate. But if you just want to do it for learning or just for your own self-interest or whatever else, you can do them and you don't have to do the actual quizzes. You don't have to do assignments. In my case, didn't have enough time to do them. So you can see I haven't actually attempted any of these quizzes. But I can still do it. I don't get punished or anything else. It's all for free. You just do it for your own sake, your own information, gain information. But if you want to have an actual quiz, you're going to make sure you do all the assignments that they give you. Usually they're multiple choice or short answer. Sometimes they're something else, but usually that's short answer or multiple choice. So these are the kind of assignments I have, and you either do them on a week-to-week basis, small quizzes, or sometimes I might have a midterm exam as well. Midterm exam, that's like a half-yearly exam. But that's usually how it works when it comes to structure of assignments. So is there a classroom? That's obviously also important. Not a classroom in traditional sense. So for example, here at the moment what they have is they have discussion forums, and because each of these courses, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people take these courses. So what you can see is if you ask a question, so for example, here someone asked a question about natural selection, and within 10 minutes they got an answer to it. Because overall there's so many people taking these courses that you tend to have a pretty good community of people doing it, which means you've got a question, you get an answer quite quickly, because there are people from all around the world doing these courses. So that's how it works. You don't have a classroom, you don't sit in a classroom, but you do have a very big discussion forum for each of these courses. And what do I get when I finish the course? So you get if you finish the course and you've done all the assignments, you get a certificate. Now this certificate at the moment doesn't count for too much. You can't, for example, get these units that you do at university. They don't count as units yet. Important is a part yet. I do think that a lot of universities will very soon actually basically acknowledge them, and you will be able to count them as your units that you've done. But at the moment you get these certificates, which you can show to your future employers or just generally have them for yourself. So there's the people who do the professors that sign it and they send it off to you, for free as well. But that's how it's structured at the moment. If you finish a course, you get a certificate if you've done all the assignments. If you don't do assignments, you can still do it, but you don't get a certificate. But the reason why I think this is a really good website is because, I mean, again, they have all the different types of universities. You can see, you can go back to the different types of universities here, and there's just, at the moment, there's, I think, 70 different types of universities that have joined up, offering their courses online, including the Melbourne University. But it's just changing so quickly. It's more and more different universities are joining up. And my guess, the next maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, is it's going more or less everything's going to be available. So you can do whatever course you want for free online in a format that's really well done. I think these courses are really high quality courses. The professors are really interesting and it's really taught really well. I mean, the ones I've done so far anyway. But yeah, that's basically what I want to show you. I want to show you this website, and I want you really to check it out because you get a good taste of what university is like before university starts. And you can also just basically get a gist of maybe some interest, because I mean, if you don't do history as a university course, you can still do it here and learn some about history, for example, which is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing modern history because I have a course there and it's really interesting. So yeah, just check it out. I would really recommend it. It's really a really good idea and a really good format.